Welcome to Screen Recaps, and today we are going to recapping the movie Project Silence. In Korea, a secret government lab conducts brutal experiments on dogs for Project Silence, aiming to turn them into war assets. Meanwhile, Deputy Director Cha receives a bribe from Secretary Jung for campaign support. Cha later scolds his daughter Kyung-min for packing her late mother's book as she prepares to study abroad. On the way to the airport, Cha has a tense encounter with a gas station clerk, Joe, over a payment issue. At the airport, sisters Miran and Yura are denied boarding due to Yura's expired passport, leading to tension. They're soon joined by Sunok, a senile woman who nearly gets hit by a car while her husband, Byung-hak, tries to help her. Later, all these characters converge on a fog-covered bridge, where chaotic driving leads to a dangerous situation, forcing everyone to stop suddenly, setting the stage for further peril. A chaotic car crash on a fog-covered bridge triggers a massive pileup, with vehicles colliding in a chain reaction. A large truck topples over, crushing cars together, while a police car crashes into a crane on the opposite lane. Back at a gas station, Joe hears about the pileup on the radio and sets out in his truck with his dog Jody to find Cha, whom he suspects is trapped there. On the bridge, Cha and his daughter Kyung-min narrowly avoid the chaos. Meanwhile, a mysterious cage car stops safely, but its driver is found dead, and the dangerous cargo, a dog named E9, escapes. Cha encounters E9 as Kyung-min tries to calm the animal, but the dog runs away. Soldiers at the scene activate a control program to recapture the escaped dogs, ignoring Cha's concerns and handcuffing him to his car's steering wheel. Joe arrives at the chaotic scene on the bridge and spots a police officer directing traffic. Seizing the opportunity, he offers to tow the officer's car for money. Meanwhile, Yang completes the activation of a control program that manipulates a lineup of dogs, turning them into violent creatures. The soldiers, now equipped with extra protection, attempt to subdue the attacking dogs using stun batons and helmets. The program successfully controls most of the dogs, except E9, who remains still for unknown reasons. As the soldiers lure the dogs back into a cage, an aircraft arrives, dropping more soldiers onto the bridge. Joe's dog barks, distracting Yang, while Joe and Kyung-min try to intervene but are pushed back. A soldier discovers that E9 had removed her control chip by hitting her head. Chaos erupts as E9 attacks the soldiers, causing the aircraft to crash and set ablaze. The dogs, driven mad by the noise, break free from their cage, ready to wreak havoc. As the dogs wreak havoc on the bridge, Cha, Kyung-min, Joe, and Jody narrowly escape multiple attacks. The dogs, once designed as rescue animals, have been reprogrammed by the military to become violent hunters, commissioned by the US and European countries to eliminate terrorists. Cha and his group manage to find a car and drive away, but the bridge is engulfed in flames after an aircraft explodes, blocking their exit. Cha crashes into a fence while trying to avoid the fire. Yang, the scientist behind the dogs, explains their original purpose and how the military's alterations made them uncontrollable killers. With no immediate rescue possible due to the fog, the group faces an increasingly dire situation as they struggle to survive. The group was trapped on the bridge because the military was trying to dispose of the failed canine samples. Cha manages to contact Young via radio, who instructs them to move back to the middle of the bridge due to the toxic gas from the burning truck. Cha reveals the secrets of Project Silence, implicating the current minister and seeking to expose the corruption. However, Young shocks him by revealing that their own department is also involved. As a group of dogs surrounds the car, another explosion scares them away, but smoke begins to fill the vehicle. The survivors are rescued by a nearby bus, which narrowly escapes as the bridge begins to collapse, sending cars plunging into the sea. After reaching safety, Cha reassures the survivors with a fabricated story about the dogs being part of the Army's unit with rabies, with Joe backing him up. A SWAT team arrives to evacuate the bus, but they haven't encountered the dogs. Cha contacts Young about the ongoing threat, but Young downplays it, assuring him that the soldiers will handle the situation. As the group starts crossing the bridge, they encounter a scene of chaos with bodies strewn everywhere. Yang accidentally triggers a car alarm, which sets off a chain reaction of alarms and attracts the dogs. The beasts, smart and ruthless, attack the soldiers, targeting their guns and causing erratic gunfire that injures bystanders. Miran is shot, and Yura tries to shield her, but the soldiers are picked off one by one. Soon OK, disoriented, tries to pet a dog but is attacked instead. Cha fights off a dog and sees Joe hiding under a car. Jody's barking attracts the dog, forcing Joe to flee with her. Cha helps Kyung-min retrieve her mom's book from a dog before running to the bus. Cha realizes he lost his radio, retrieves it, and grabs a flare gun. Meanwhile, Yang reveals that E9, the original dog, is seeking revenge for the experiments that killed her clones. Cha locates the remaining survivors in a truck and signals for help with flares, which Young sees on security cameras. Cha tells the group they'll try to escape in the bus and requests snipers for support. But Young refuses due to concerns about media coverage and assures them a SWAT team will be at the bridge break. Cha informs Young that the survivors know the truth, prompting Young to hang up. At the bus, Kyung-min tries to open the door, but Yang stops her, fearing the dogs will get inside. The survivors use flames to deter the dogs, but one still attacks Sunok. Byung-hak burns the dog off her, though it still bites her foot. Joe uses alcohol to create a larger flame, driving the dogs away. Cha fires a flare to blind everyone, allowing Kyung-min to open the bus door. The survivors get inside, and Joe uses his master key to start the bus. Young, facing political fallout, receives a message from the minister about deciding whether to save the survivors. At the bridge break, Cha's radio contact with the SWAT team fails. Kyung-min proposes hiding in the luggage compartment with a camera. As Sunok dies, the dogs enter the bus. The survivors close the door to trap the dogs inside. Byung-hak, refusing to leave his wife, holds the hatch closed while the dogs attack him. Cha tries to save him, but Joe pulls him away, insisting it's too late. After discovering that the SWAT team is missing, Yang reveals that Young orchestrated Project Silence, which secured his position. Cha angrily demands medics in the press, threatening to expose Young if his demands aren't met. The group plans to use Joe's truck to escape through toxic gas, but the keys are in the bus. Cha will act as bait to lure the dogs into a cage. Kyung-min gives him her mom's book and says she no longer wants to study abroad. Yu-ra prepares golf clubs and admits she kept her expired passport secret. Yang's laptop transmits Cha's voice reading the book, enraging the dogs. Yu-ra hits golf balls to weaken the bus window, allowing the dogs to enter the cage. Joe retrieves the truck keys, but E9, free from her chip, chases him. The bridge collapses, and E9 tries to save her pack but is trapped under debris. Kyung-min's kindness spares her from attack. As the bridge collapses, E9 falls after her last dog. Cha clings to the cage, which slides precariously. Kyung-min appears, connects the towing hook, and climbs inside with him. Joe and the others drive off in the truck, dragging the cage through toxic gas and dodging collapsing bridge sections. Upon reaching safety, the survivors believe Cha and Kyung-min are dead, but the cage appears, rolling towards them. Cha promises Joe a medal and they reunite with the group. At the bridge's end, Cha exposes the truth about the experiments to reporters and throws money at Young. Kyung-min's study abroad plans are canceled, and they share a happy moment. Meanwhile, E9 emerges from the water with her last clone, eyeing the bridge with plans for revenge.
I thought I was